Hey folks, it's me James with James Brains with the Brains Report, and I'm here to tell you about all the different energy shots. I like caffeine. I am a caffeine addict, as any good writer should be. My main source of caffeine is 2 shots of espresso from my espresso maker 3 times a day. I usually take in close to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, which I believe is about the limit that is recommended. You probably should not have more than 400 milligrams. Of course, that can vary by person and by your size and everything. So before you start taking energy shots and adjusting your caffeine, be sure to talk to your medical professional. Anyway, these are just a few of the energy shots I've tested. Some of them aren't here because I've tested them all or just tossed them because they do expire. So check the expiration dates on your energy shots. For the energy shot comparison, I came up with a testing rubric in order to compare all of these. Each of the energy shots, I rated how they tasted on a scale from 1 to 5. I rated their aftertaste on the same scale from 1 to 5. After 1 hour, I rated how jittery I felt, again on a scale from 1 to 5. And rated my come down 5 hours after taking the energy shot to see how the come down is. I also looked at how much caffeine is in a typical serving. I found the sweet spot is between 100 and 300 milligrams. I should also note that I came up with this comparison rubric after consulting with a registered dietitian and getting her input on it. I also looked at whether there is artificial sugar, where the sweetness comes from, and if there are weird chemical names in there that I don't recognize, weird ingredients, that's usually a sign that it may not be the best for your body. Also looked at if there's special ingredients that are helpful for energy, such as ginseng or guarana or taurine. I looked at the nutritional info, stuff like calories, sodium. Most of these, the calorie content is so low that you don't really need to worry too much about it. And yeah, looked at how much it costs per serving, how many milligrams of caffeine you get per dollar, and what options are available, such as different flavors, different potencies, and different packaging, that sort of thing. Now I'm gonna kind of try to go through these quickly. I'm gonna go in order from what I thought were the worst to the best. So let's get started. The first one I'm gonna start with is So Good So You. Definitely not a fan of it. Some of the pros on it are there's no artificial chemicals or anything in it. It's got like a bunch of organic stuff, organic orange juice, organic mango juice, and it's got coffee berry, whole coffee fruit extract for its caffeine. But there are a lot of cons. It tastes bad, it left me jittery, had to come down. The caffeine content is only 95 milligrams. It's also expensive and it needs to be refrigerated. This is actually expired. It did not last that long even though it was refrigerated. The next is Vitamin Energy. There are a bunch of different varieties of it. It's got good kind of high caffeine levels, about 260 milligrams. You'll only want 1 per day. Definitely don't do more than that. The come down wasn't bad, and like I said, it comes in a variety of options. The cons are that they all taste pretty bad. They all have a chemical aftertaste and taste to them. And they also have sucralose in them and have a bunch of weird chemicals like sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate. There's also acylphonamine potassium. Bunch of stuff that you probably should not be putting in your body. And it also left me pretty jittery. The next is Qualia Nootropic Energy Shot, which I don't have here because it expired before I could try them all. Some of the pros are the come down isn't bad. It has weird chemicals but no artificial sugar. I personally don't like sucralose because it does not agree with my digestive system. And Qualia also has ginseng in it, which can be good for you, helps the brain, and also can put some tingle in your dingle if you need help with that. Some of the cons, though, are it's expensive. I think last time I checked, it's about $6 per shot. It tastes absolutely awful. It left me jittery, and it only had 90 milligrams of caffeine. Next is the Brain Juice Brain Booster. Despite its incredible name, I'm not a big fan of it. That's these guys here. There's a few different flavors. It tastes okay, and the come down isn't bad, and the ingredients aren't too awful in it. Purified water, coconut nectar, monk fruit extract, but it's got a bunch of weird sounding stuff. It does have L-theanine, which is supposed to be good for you, but it left me jittery, and it only has 75 milligrams of caffeine, which isn't enough for me. The next I want to talk about is New, I'm guessing it's pronounced. I like to think it's pronounced Neu after the weird progressive German band, but we'll assume it's New. One of the pros is it's just on the upper boundary of caffeine, about 300 milligrams. Sometimes I would drink just half of it, and then maybe 4 or 5 hours later drink the other half. Just to kind of spread it out. Despite the high caffeine content, it didn't leave me jittery or with a bad come down. That was kind of nice. The problem is it tastes very chemically, and it has sucralose and other artificial stuff in it. Not too cool. Next I'm going to talk about Proper Wild. 3 different flavors here. It has 180 milligrams of caffeine, so kind of in the middle, and no artificial ingredients. I really like the ingredients here. It's purified water, pineapple juice concentrate, natural flavors, organic blackberry juice concentrate, and organic lemon juice concentrate. And it's got organic caffeine and L-theanine in it. What I don't like is the taste is among the worst I've had. It also has a bad come down. It left me jittery, and there's no like special ingredients like ginseng or that sort of stuff. Proper Wild's PR person was kind of perturbed that I didn't consider it one of the top energy shots. And I gave her the reasons why, and she sent me an email. And I just wanted to read it to give their perspective on my take on it, just so you can get both sides of the story. The taste is geared around zero preservatives, artificial sweeteners, and only uses organic ingredients. They may not have the ingredients you listed, ginseng, guarana, or taurine, but I did some research and spoke with the team. They said taurine is snake oil. Lots of science supports it not doing anything. Ginseng doesn't survive hot fill, low pH, so for Proper Wild to use zero preservatives, ginseng cannot be used. And lastly, guarana is just another source of caffeine. Proper Wild chose to use organic caffeine from green tea instead. In addition, Proper Wild has over 500 monthly subscribers and growing who enjoy the flavor as it reminds them of a green tea bitterness that tastes healthier than the typical 5-Hour Energy or other products that have sugar and artificial sweeteners. With all this being said, can you highlight that they have L-theanine, which is a vital ingredient that you don't currently test for? I just want to point out that I am not going to highlight L-theanine. Speaking of 5-hour energy, that's my next one here. I don't happen to have it on hand. It has a good caffeine content, about 200 milligrams, decent taste, no come down, and has taurine. Some of the cons, though, are it left me jittery, and there are a lot of artificial ingredients, including sucralose. Now we're going to shift into my top 5. True Focus is on there. Pros, it has a 150 milligrams of caffeine. Uses natural ingredients. It comes in several awesome varieties, including I believe it's called True Sleep, which doesn't have caffeine and isn't really an energy shot, but I found it did a really good job of helping me go to sleep at night. And it doesn't have bad come down, and it has, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I think people call it Coke 10 for short. It's the COQ10. It's got that in there. Supposedly good for things. I just include it because I've seen that people say it's good for things. The taste of True Focus isn't very good, and the aftertaste is also bad. And it left me feeling kind of jittery. But overall, I'm a fan. The next is Daily Power. That's right here. A couple of varieties here. I believe there are other ones that I already drink up. Some of the pros are it has 220 milligrams caffeine, has taurine and Panax ginseng extract, and the come down was fine. It didn't drive me crazy. Some of the cons, though, are the aftertaste is bad. Left me kind of jittery, and it has sucralose and several other weird ingredients. Stoke Energy shots are next. I'm a lot of those because they went kind of bad. They come in like little, kind of like the creamer you might find on the table at a diner. You might stack them up, or your kids might. Depends on who gets to them first. But they're little shots of pretty much just strong coffee with a little sweetness. The sweetness comes from corn syrup, which isn't very good. Each shot only has 40 milligrams of caffeine, so to test it, I took 3. And some of the cons are it opened accidentally. I kept a bunch in my glove compartment for when I just need caffeine on the go, and some of them burst open, and that made quite a mess. Another thing is it left me a little jittery. I do like that it's incredibly cheap, though, and you can just buy like a box of them on Amazon and they'll last you for a while. The next is XMode Energy Shot. This is another really cheap one. As you can see, there's a little spigot on the front here, and you just empty it. Also comes with a little bottle for when you're on the go, so you can fill it up. Each 1 ounce serving comes with 150 milligrams of caffeine. The taste is among the best. I liked it. It was kind of not too cough syrupy like. It does have that cherry flavor that's evocative of the cough syrup, but is more tangy. I liked that. I'm a tangy fan. There's great taste, no jitters, and it features taurine. Some of the cons are I found that though this bottle is supposed to be good for on the go, it didn't work that well. It kind of leaked. And there's also lots of artificial stuff in this. And it has sucralose. Again, not a fan of. So my all-time favorite energy shot, which unfortunately I don't have because I drank all of it, is the Forto coffee shots. You can find those just about everywhere. They're now at convenience stores, usually near the counter. And it looks like a little Starbucks coffee with the lid on it. Looks like that, only you screw it off and you drink your little energy shot. It was by far my favorite. I checked most of the boxes. It has 200 milligrams caffeine, no artificial or weird ingredients. It tastes great. No jitters or come down, and there's lots of variety. Forto has teamed up with a bunch of popular brands. There's like Dunkin' Donuts Forto shots and stuff like that. All tasty. There's only negative is there aren't any fancy ingredients like ginseng in it, but that's fine. Here I have a few others that I was not able to find for sale online anymore. Therefore, I didn't review them. Why review stuff that you can't really buy anyway? I still like to grab this Ruck Pack one sometimes. This is the caffeine-free variety, which I don't recommend. This has caffeine, which I do recommend. And it's got easy portability. These days, though, I'm like, let's say I were on the go right now. What would I choose? I would choose the Proper Wild of the ones I have. Mostly because I really like that it doesn't have the artificial ingredients. It's nice and clean. I found the artificial stuff can end up giving me a headache or digestive issues. Proper Wild does a good job of it. I recommend putting it in the fridge. I don't really care too much about taste as much as most people, since I'm just going to be downing it. I can put up with some bad flavoring for a couple seconds. Main thing is I want to get that caffeine in my system. Anyway, that covers all of the energy shots. I'll keep you updated with new energy shots I test, so please subscribe to the Brains Report channel. I'm sure there's stuff I forgot to cover, so if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'm pretty good at getting back within 24 hours, so that is something that I will do. In the meantime, stay energized.